Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a dynamic effort lower day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below, be greatly appreciated. And I had some problems with the bands today, as you guys can see they're a little loose there. Next set I had the bands actually come loose, so I rearranged them completely, and I really only got 2 sets where the bands were perfect, so I just left it. I'm just like, we're done with this. The squats felt good overall, though, on the speed squats. I went ahead and went back to some Olympic squatting today when I realized how good it felt on my quads afterwards to do the Olympic style squatting with the machine, with the belt squat. I'm like, oh, let me do this for my speed squats, and maybe I should just Olympic squat for a while. Obviously, there's some issues with the bands on this setup, and it's largely because the Olympic squats, my range of motion is so much longer, I drop lower. The bar is much lower, it seems like, when I'm at the bottom versus my power squat. For some reason, it seems like when I did these on the band setups that it just requires more adjustment. And I think I know what I need to do next time for these, so I'll get it right. But felt great in my quads, feels good in my shoulders. And I think ultimately everything I do in my training is going to be about watching my hips and watching my shoulders. As long as I can keep those from getting inflamed, I'm good. And realistically, back when I was messing with high bar squats again a while back, I'm just as strong on a Olympic style high bar as I am a power squat, in spite of all the posterior chain work I do, in spite of it. And if anything, if I keep building my hamstrings and stuff, it'll probably just give me more bounce off the sleeves because of the deeper knee angle, and I'll just keep building my quads. It's fine. All the other muscles matter, glutes, adductors, all of that, obviously. But, we'll build some quads. All right, deadlifts, these felt great today. Did just my normal conventional deadlifts the way I normally do them on speed work. Although I'm coming up with some ideas and other people suggested things for making the chains easier, which I might mess with a little bit because I do want to work in some waves of chains also on these. I feel like I get so much from bands on speed pulls, but they also really, really give me such a tremendous pump in my low back. But they felt great. Again, always hold it at the top. Something I'm noticing with a lot of my lifters, a lot of them fail to lock their speed pulls. And then, of course, I have one guy right now who, almost injures his back deadlifting because he hyperextends no matter what we do, having him work on it. And it sucks because he just broke a 500 deadlift, but the guy hyperextends like crazy on it, and then his back has been cramping for a week. And he doesn't have access to a reverse hyper, unfortunately. Well, he does, but it's at another gym he does have access to that he can get to sometimes that I don't think he pays for. So just perks of his job. But again, having him do that, but the issue is, of course, he hyperextends. And I'm trying to show guys, look, just stand up straight, chest proud. That's the top of a deadlift. And you have to do it on speed pulls. And notice I always hold that last rep for just a bit, especially on this last set with the 5x5 on the speed pulls. I like to really hold it for a bit. It's worth a little bit in terms of grip training. And I also today, because I want to focus more on rowing for a bit, and I want to row both days, I went ahead and did some Pendlay Rows, but man, they just felt, after doing the speed pulls, they felt really crampy in my posterior chain trying to do them. So I stopped at 2 sets, and I may work in some dumbbell rows next time. I'm sitting here wishing at this point that I had a seal row. I'm wishing that I had a seal row bench. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe next year. I'll get that donkey attachment for the reverse hyper and see if I can squeeze one in. It'll probably require me to get rid of my little 45-degree extension bench, which floats around the gym, which I never use, and doing something with that glute ham raise if I do that. But, I'll have all that in that combo unit, so I'll be good to go there. But yeah, just 2 sets of these, pretty much all I can handle, felt like. All right. I think I did 2 sets, but almost looking at the footage here, I'm wondering if I have 3 sets in there. It's like, did I do 3 sets? I counted 2 sets. But as I'm looking at the footage, I swear it looks like I have 3. I don't know. I only did 2, though. I know I only did 2 sets. Who knows? Who knows what happens sometimes with this stuff? But we might market it. So I think I did do 3 sets. Holy crap. So what happens is you're training in the cold. I went out there in sweats because I did my early morning walk-in sweats with my weight vest, but then I took the sweats off and put my normal stuff on. It says it's in the 40s Fahrenheit, which for Houston is cold, but it didn't feel that cold. Didn't feel that cold. All right, belt squats using this same really deep, narrow stance, which is again Olympic style squatting. I went up 20 pounds. Felt good on my quads, and I'll just keep working these up in terms of progression. And I think a lot of this stuff I've said, hey, I want to take this lift or that and push the volumes way up. I don't know if that's the best idea. I think we're better off just working with progressive overload, keeping the volume sane, and just getting strong at the sets I'm doing. Probably wiser. Although my hamstrings felt really lit up from all this stuff. They felt a little crampy after the speed pulls and I was doing the rows, right? They did feel it a little bit. And I noticed that coming up on the glute ham raises. But here's the thing, guys. These give tremendous quad activation, right? I'm probably going to be good if I just decide to Olympic squat, and mainly because it's just so easy on my shoulders. It's not that the other stuff's been bothering it. It's that I really am thinking in terms of the long term of, do I need pull-ups? Or should I just do rows? Do I need low bar squats, or can I just do, high bar Olympic style squatting? Because at the end of the day, strength is strength, muscle is muscle. It's not like I haven't done squats with Olympic squatting well up over 500. If I just build my quads up, they'll be fine. And as long as my supplemental work facilitates that, if we do the speed squats that way, and then we do the belt squats that way, we should be good. And it's not like my posterior chain is neglected. If any time I choose to go back to power squats, I still do just fine because I do all this posterior chain work. Right? I do tons of it. I do more posterior chain than interior. So here we did our 3 sets of 10 on the glute ham raises, which is exactly what I'm talking about. The whole back half of my workout is all posterior chain. And today did 8 total sets for it, and that's not counting the speed pulls. That's not counting the speed pulls, which, realistically should count. And I think I get a lot of glute on those belt squats. But yeah, and I think speed pulls do count for the posterior chain because mine got really lit while doing those. But if we don't count them, we got 8 sets. So we did this 3 sets of 10 on the glute ham raises, and I may take these even to an easier setting so that I can rotate things like weight, chains, bands, if I'm worried about overuse in the future, which may be a concern. Right now it's not. And I've been doing well with these since I cut the creatine out on the cramping. It went away. So we finished up after that with reverse hyperextensions. Okay, we finished up with the reverse hyperextension. So what's up there? I went up 10 pounds and did 5 sets of 10. Actually, I got like 12 on the last set. I pushed it out a little further, which again, valuable to us here. So the thing is, the more I look at this, I don't know that trying to do the 10 sets like I did for that short phase, is that really ideal, or should we just push progression on 5 sets? 5 sets has always worked really well for me, also works well for my clients. I think I need to just take the 5 sets and slowly work the strength back up, because it's almost impossible to progress with 10 sets. And then we're just pushing sheer volume, and it's volume that I don't know that I need. Yes, it's a prehab type exercise, but again, that's a lot of volume to recover from. And it's kind of what I look at with things like my benching. When it climbed the most, I was doing fairly modest volume. Modest volume, just focusing on progression, focusing on the speed work, focusing on progression on all the supplemental exercises at nice moderate volumes. And it worked great. My close grip bench climbed to 365. Now, granted, I was bulking. I'm not really bulking now because I need to get a lot leaner. But that template sure worked well for me. By actually doing what I tell other people to do actually worked really well for me. Go figure. Doing what I tell my clients to do, then they get success from, worked really well for me. Go figure. So I think that's what we need to do here. Limit these to just the 5 sets. 5 sets and just get stronger and higher quality, with a given weight, and then work the weight up when we can. Okay? I think that will work very, very nicely. Make sure my deadlifts back up well into the 600s. Try to work it up towards 700. Okay? It's going to be a matter of building the muscle in the right places. But I think we can get there with time. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.